Railroad Preserver 2000 here, back again to do another live stream here, guys. We all know what happened today, 17 years ago, the attacks of September 11th, 2001. Um, I was going to share at least some of my earliest memory of it, but it's mainly what I remember my mom telling me about it in terms of, what was going on when I was around. But keep in mind, this is just, I'm going off of what they told me later on. I was a year old when 9/11 happened. That's the first thing. I was born in 2000, a year before the towers fell. And so I don't really know. It's like Jules and Gideon all day said. Nobody, nobody now was born after 9/11 knows what it was like beforehand. And I was born literally a year before. As I said, I was born a year before the towers fell. And so in 2001, that made me a year old. So let's see, September, October, November, 3 months before, I guess, my first or second birthday. So, yeah, I, um, I know my mom was trying to find some cartoons for me to watch, and I think it was nearly every television station we had at the time was playing this event as it happened. Horseshoe Rail fan, I've been alright. Hang on 1 minute. Sorry, all, I'm back. Hey, Hen Kid, Shane's Trains 50 guys are here. Spread the word about the stream now, because it's not really just my memories of it, and about this. I know my stepfather, he was working on a heating and air job at the time this was happening, and when he got home, now keep in mind, this was back when his actual father was still alive, and his grandfather was a war veteran, and he said, son, I think we may be going to war, and he meant it. Thank goodness, though, my stepdad, he's never served, but his grandfather did. I wish I had met him. But, yeah. To this day, I'm still trying to figure out what happened on 9/11. I really have been trying. I've looked at documentaries. I've looked at the Jules and Gideon All Day documentary. I actually have that. I have a book about the World Trade Center. And, I mean, really, the one thing I do want to do one day is to go to New York to that museum, because that's my generation's disaster. I mean, in a sense, if you wanted to compare it to, 1912 with Titanic, this could be considered my generation's version, if you will, of Titanic. Only difference is it's not a ship, but a building. But still, it was a huge event. And I know quite a few of us here either were born just shortly before it or shortly after it. But I want to see if, anyone here is more than welcome to tell me of their memories of it, because I like hearing the personal stories, because it actually gives a far better picture of what was happening the day that all that was going on. I know for a fact that, the survivors, of these events, they actually are what help make the story more real. Like, it makes you feel more like you're there. Apollo Snyder Trains, how are you? Let me go over to Poolsy Studios live stream and let them know I'm live. Let me know how the quality's coming out for y'all. Is it blurry or is it pixelated? If it's blurry, I can turn it on to internet and see if that does anything, which I just did. It's probably going to kill my computer. But, yeah. Oh, figures. The internet's trying to just die on me. Wonderful. Totally not unusual at all. Hang on. But, yeah, y'all spread the word about the stream if you can. Please. Oh, figures. My computer's internet decided oh, great. The internet decided to kick me out. Wonderful. Hang on. dang it. But yeah, I know my dad's mother was helping tend to her husband, her late husband. I only know him as Papa B, but he had suffered a stroke back in the early 90s, and by 2001 he was already getting better. All he had left to do, I think, was to learn how to walk again. And his birthday, I don't mean this to be mean, but his birthday, apparently, from what I remember, fell on 9/11. Either that, I think it was either that or September 30th. I don't remember exactly which, but yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I cannot remember. I think from what Ellaby told me, I think she said he passed back, and I think either September 30th of that year or a month or two later. I can't remember, but yeah, he was aware of what was going on, and I'm pretty sure her and Papa B, my dad, I'm pretty sure everybody was worried. I know everyone in America was, because we didn't know what was, Al Qaeda was capable of doing. If they were able to fly planes in, there's no telling what they could have done. And I mean, I'm glad that, we were able to take out their leader later on, but still, there is still a cost. I mean, it created the war on terror, which to this day is still going on now, 17 years later. I mean, Ground Zero has since, been rebuilt, which is, I'm glad, and I'm glad there's a memorial there. Because on one of my Ellaby's trips, I went to the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, but I never filmed there, and for good reason. It's hallowed ground. It was that way in Gettysburg. I never filmed in Gettysburg. If it's an area out of respect for the dead, even if I go to the 9/11 Memorial Museum in New York, I'll ask before I film inside the museum, but I don't want to film outside because, the memorial is there, and I don't want to disrespect the dead. I don't want to film on somebody's grave. You wouldn't do that to anyone you knew, would you? I wouldn't. If I were to go to the museum and if I was able to film there, I would only film the artifacts. Not the memorial, not the remains. Not the human remains. I don't know if there is any in the museum. I don't think there is, because I know that would really upset the victims, families, so, yeah, but let me check the chat here. Sorry about the hand, y'all. Edgemore Rail fan, how are you? Y'all let me know. I mean, do y'all remember anything about September 11th? Y'all are more than welcome to let me know. Also, on an unrelated side note, the channel just hit 805 subscribers. Thank you guys for that. But yeah, Edgemore, do you recall where you were on September 11th? 2003, 2 years after. That was the same year we moved here in the current town I'm in. Yeah, we moved to the... Oh. I don't mean to upset you or, offend you, but how old were you then? I'm just curious. Also, the reason I'm asking this sort of questions is because I want to try and interview my grandmother on my dad's side. Not because of, this, but because she has plenty of stories in general that I'd like to share one day. Because, once the prior generations are gone, their stories and what they could probably tell and teach are gone with them. But I'm getting off track here. But, do you remember what you were doing? Because I know this was well before YouTube, I know. So you would have been, I think, let's see, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. So I'm guessing you would have been maybe, don't quote me on this, 19, 20, somewhere around there? Early to late teens, early 20s? Back in 2001. I'll say this. Like I said when I started this stream, I was only a year old when it happened, so I've only been able to recall it by seeing documentaries, news reports, and all that, and hearing from what my parents and grandparents remembered seeing. And of course, I was alive when they got Osama bin Laden and killed him. No offense, but that. I mean, I have nothing against you know, the Arabic people. And let's face it, every religion is going to have those that try and give it a bad name. There's always going to be a radical form of of a religion, like Al Qaeda was a radical, Islamic terrorist group, and I mean, I'm pretty sure there's even radical Christians out there that cause trouble. So, but not everyone is a terrorist. Okay, not everybody is a terrorist. It's only those who wish to cause harm and those who want to inflict it. And unfortunately, now, even today, there's still plenty of people who are like that, unfortunately. But, I'm pretty sure one day there's going to be something that may overshadow even 9/11. It's only just a matter of time. And by that point, we'll probably be telling our children about it. 15. Me, I was a year old when it happened, Apollo. I was born a year before the towers fell. I'm 17 now, so you can, if you do the math going backwards, I think that'll tell you something. Wait, who all is here and who all's not here? I'm curious because it just went from 4 to 2. Y'all spread the word about the stream now? This is something I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while. And I mean, like I say, all right, thank you. Excuse me, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, if I was able to go to New York to visit, Ground Zero, I'd only film inside the museum. I wouldn't film outside because, like I said, the memorial is there. And I feel that filming the memorial would just be disrespecting the dead. And frankly, I mean, if you were like at Gettysburg or something, you wouldn't do that. And I never did it. I mean, when I was at Gettysburg, I just felt, instinctively, that people died there. And I felt that exact same thing at the Flight 93 Memorial. And I mean, if I was to go to New York to see one thing, it would be Ground Zero. That's exactly the only thing I'd go to New York to see. It's like going to Washington, D.C. The only reason I go to Washington, D.C. is to see the Smithsonian. And they actually have I think it's either Jules or Gideon's camera that they used during the 9/11 attacks on display in the Smithsonian. And as far as I know, I think they're still making films. But I mean, what would be neat is if another documentary crew came and actually interviewed them, to see what their recollections are of it, say maybe 20, 30 years from now, because it's only going to be 2 more years, and then it'll be 20 years since this happened. It's already 17 years. And I mean, think about how different it would be if it hadn't have happened. There wouldn't be a strict security anywhere. Heck, you rail fans could probably get into rail yards without as much as a security, scan before going in, But those, after this, all that changed. But then again, I mean, this is something that everyone remembers who was able to remember it. I mean, I consider this as something as momentous as, the sinking of the Titanic or Pearl Harbor. It's something that will not be forgotten. At least not by those who lived through it or remember it well. I know the generations after it, I tell you, it's like they don't give a you-know-what about history. I know this because I was at school this morning, and I said, you guys know what today is, right? And some kid told me I don't give a, and dropped the F-bomb on me. He should be ashamed. person said that to be a shame. And I hate it that some people of my generation don't give a frig about history or this event. Yes. Yeah, take that. Yeah, that's a good example. And I hate it. Have you noticed now that it seems like the shootings are becoming more frequent? And that could technically be considered, in a sense, terrorism, and I hate it. I freaking hate it with a passion. Let me turn the bright down on this thing. And I mean, I really do hate it that the world has come to this. You'd think 9/11 would have changed everything. It made people more aware of the fact that, we're not safe. 9/11 showed that. We may make our security better, but we can't make our people better. American Robin, welcome to the stream. But yeah, I'll say this. I hate it. I mean, there's, I think, been more violence now than there has been essentially since 9/11. I mean, literally, you can hardly travel anywhere now without being in danger. I can't. My grandmother was able to go to Europe, and now look, this terrorism is spread, in a sense, so much now that I'll never get to go to Europe because of it. I've wanted to go to Europe for years. And now I'll have to ask my grandmother what it was like, because she's been there and I'll never get to go, because I'm pretty sure 20 or 30 years the world will become so dangerous due to idiot terrorists fighting for some non-existent cause that it probably will no longer be safe to go anywhere. And frankly, if that happens, I hope I'm not alive when it comes, because it's going to be bad. And I know for a fact it's going to be bad enough to where people are going to just, I don't know. Ouch. But, I mean, yeah. I'll tell you, the weather was sort of set the mood. It was cloudy all day at school today. Yes, and I hate it, though. I hate it, though. I hear stories of where some of the guys who fought for our freedom early on are starting to be treated badly. And I'm talking about World War II veterans. Heck, you guys won't believe this. I saw a video on YouTube, and it's still up, where this 89-year-old World War II veteran, he was in a nursing home and he was calling for help, and apparently he was dying, and the nurses who came in who were supposed to help him, they just stood there laughing at him. They stood there laughing at him on his deathbed. Now you talk about disrespect. They got what they deserved. The nurses were arrested. And they rightfully deserved it. Let me tell you something. I honor those who fight for our freedom. And to be honest, if it wasn't for them, where do you think all of us would be right now? I remember fast dream. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even watch the NFL or the sports, but I know when 9/11 happened, I know for a fact everything that was going on stopped. In a sense, the world stopped when 9/11 happened. Because, I mean, every news station around the world, I think, was broadcasting it. I know for a fact that much. But the one thing I hate, that I think is the most disrespectful thing ever you could ever do, is create a conspiracy theory about 9/11. I hate it. I hate the people who want to go out of their way to make some bold conspiracy-like claim saying, oh, it was caused by the government, oh, the president did it. I do not care, and I frankly hate it when people do that. It distorts the truth and makes it as if the truth is what lies, when in fact it is what the conspiracy theorists are saying that's the lie, and what the actual facts are saying is the truth. In other words, I hate it though, because now it seems like people believe the conspiracy theories, which is stupid as all get out. You couldn't have planted, I mean, if you, like here's one for instance, the towers were destroyed by explosives. Firstly, if you were going to tear a building of that size down, you'd need to, one, have all the surrounding buildings empty, void of people, as well as the surrounding area. Secondly, you'd have to pray you had a very good and controllable way of bringing them down, which technically did not happen. And third, you shouldn't have people in a building that's going to be demolished. You wouldn't fill a building set for demolition with 100, 200 people, would you? Yeah. That tells you something. That throws up some red flags in terms of any conspiracy theories. Because the buildings did not fall in a controlled manner. They had people in them and they were killed. And technically, there were no explosives in the building. And I've heard, and this was from a conspiracy theory I heard. And to be honest, I hate it. I just shook my head and said, you have got to be kidding me. And frankly, I hate people who do that. But, I mean, really, if you think about it, compare with how people were before and after, shortly after 9/11, and then compare it with now. It's obvious. It seems like whenever there's some cataclysmic event or disaster, that's the only time people care about one another and actually help people. And it's like when in the normal time, it's like people don't give a frig about each other, and I hate it because that's becoming more and more common. I've always said, if you wait long enough, it's going to be where people are going to just be caring about three things: money, power, and themselves. No one and nothing else except themselves. And to be honest, if that happens, it's going to be the death. It's going to be the death of freedom. I'm not saying it's happening now, but you hear the stories, you listen to reports, I mean, you can tell. And to be honest, I mean, if you look at the way politics is going now, and I'm not trying to cause a political debate, okay? I'm politically neutral. I'm voicing my opinion on this. But I mean, if you look at how the political parties are going, and I'm talking about both, I mean, you can see, I mean, it's obvious that there's corruption. I mean, no political party is made up of all good people. There's going to be people there who are going to cause trouble and cause corruption and just try and ruin it. And even if they make it look like we don't notice. There's a few who notice, like myself. And frankly, it's in our constitutional right that if the government is abusing its power or is not treating its people right, the people have the right to take up arms and rebel against that government and make a new one in its place. That was written in the Constitution, and it is all right if we wanted to where if we really wanted to, we could rebel against our own government and create a new one. But either way, I'm not trying to encourage that, but I hope and pray that if the government continues in the way it's going, I just really hope, people try and talk some sense into the politicians and all, because, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, that's something that's a major problem in all governments, in all forms of government. There's corruption, but still, if you just sit there and let that corruption get out of control, it can and will destroy a government. But either way, I'm getting off track. I don't want to cause a political debate or reheated rant or anything, but this was about my memories of September 11 and a few memories I have from those I've heard, who were around me at the time, and I and this is something I've just needed to talk about for years now, and I know I'm not the only one, but yeah, yes. Well, moving on from that, I did say earlier that the channel has hit 805 subscribers. Let me check the thing right quick just to look and be sure if it hasn't changed, because I know due to how lag is, it may change. See, and the total number is 805 and holding. Total view ratio in the about page is, come on, dang thing, come on. Yeah, this looks good. 83,888 views. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I could do for a special, but I just want to say thank you to all of y'all for helping me reach 805 subscribers. And, never forget 9/11. Never forget 9/11. But, yeah. Irish Whiskey. No, excuse me. Irish Whiskey 77. Glad you could see I can make it to the stream, laddie. How's everything going in Ireland? Or do you live in Ireland, or is that just your name? I'm just kidding. I had to. I'm sorry. I know that was probably a terrible Irish impression, but I try. It's getting dark in here. Let me turn this lamp on. I bet that would help a bunch. Let me see here. There we go. Yes, mate. Yes, mate. Let me see here. I forgot to add Oz's Oz over to here. Hey, you can only try if you will. Hey, if you fail once, all you can do is try again. Yeah, let's see here. My friends' channels. Duplicate tab. Yeah, I'm going to try and add Phil M. Rivers. It's okay. If you want, I could edit. I could go and pause the stream for anyone who just joined, and y'all could back up the stream if you wanted. Let's see here. Playlist. Well, I'll say this. Next year will mark this channel turning 5 years old. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Which means, I think 2025, if I'm even still doing YouTube at that point, will mark 10 years since I made this channel. Heck, 2028 will mark 10 years since my dad's mother and I actually started traveling together. Because my first trip with her was in 2008. So, yeah. Let me see here. Also, congratulations to Ozer's Oz for hitting 341 subscribers. Y'all, I really recommend checking him out. He's trying to do videos similar to Jesse's. He's not doing it. He's not trying to do it to make a feud with Jesse. I'm just saying he's sort of following a similar, video, style in a sense. He's trying to make them funny like Jesse's, and he's really getting up there in the video editing. I've done at least one collaboration with him so far, and I'm looking forward to his Titanic film that he's making in Roblox. Very much so, in fact. I'll say this. I'm really looking forward to it. And why did this not... Is there like a limit? Hang on 1 minute here. Paste. There we go. Okay, there it goes. Let's see. Corrupted Knight. One of the few YouTubers who goes to our school aside from myself. Shout out to him. He made a new channel though. I'll say that he's not using his old Corrupted Knight channel anymore, just for the sake of why not, and nostalgia's sake. I'm gonna run over and see him. Oh wow, 133 subscribers. Garrett, you need to get back on your channel, bruh. Excuse me, Corrupted Knight. Yeah, that wasn't Corrupted Knight's actual name. That was... There's a friend of mine at school named Garrett, and... Sorry, I get my names mixed up, but yeah. It's like, you need to get more subscribers, bro. I I don't mean that to be mean. I'm serious. Y'all need to go subscribe to him. He did a ton of stuff. He likes to do music and make custom music. And it is freaking sick. I mean, it's some of the best I've seen. Pros to you, Corrupted. You did good. And you're still doing good. God, I really... Man, I wish he had kept his old channel. I know he started a new one, but the problem is I have no freaking clue if he even... I don't know. He never gave me his other channel name. Exala Putin. Salaputin. Otherwise known as Colin. He's another YouTuber who goes to my school. Diversity Part 3. Confusion! Let us see what confusion is here, shall we? Yep. Play your stupid thing! Also, shout out to Pulja Studios because they have been getting a ton of support recently, and I'm glad. Their video quality is so good. They really deserve the support they're getting now. I honestly hope they surpass my channel. I really want them to, actually. I'm not even kidding. I really want them to be able to surpass my channel both in views and subscriber numbers. Because their film, get this, it's something that you'd see like a professional film company make. Same with their photography. And this is something that's, in my mind, amazing. I envy their work. Their cinematography is superb. The photographs they produce are incredible. And the film in general is brilliant. I love it. Hands down, it's some of the best work cinematography I've seen on YouTube to date.
I love you all equally. I thank you all equally. And I want you all an amazing time. And once again, guys, just so it's for, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you're new here and you like what we're doing, please do. We're going to have lots more coming this winter. We have interviews with YouTubers. We have Tech Talk Tuesday. We're discussing...
I wouldn't mind being interviewed by them again one day. Because when they interviewed me, that's when my channel started gaining subscribers, because I gained a much wider audience thanks to Pulja Studios. It's thanks to them that I've gotten this far, and I'm really glad.
Let's get up that chat. Everybody, you gotta do, whether it's refresh your screens, take a sip of coffee.
Let's see if I can't see myself in the live chat. I'm pretty sure I can, but it goes by so quick.
40 seconds from now.
And Sparky, this is our usual sequence.
By the way, shout out to everybody in Pulja Studios stream. I don't know if anyone could be shouted out here, but... Did I say I'm Jive right now? What? Oh no, that's just live with a comma in the beginning. Dang it, that's not what I intended to do.
CB, craft beer. CB, craft beers.
Ooh, shout out to him. I know he subscribed to me. Hey! You guys can probably guess where that's from. I'm not gonna say it. You guys are just gonna have to guess.
Oh man, you got them down to a science.
God dang it. Stay up, you stupid phone! There we go. Alright.
Yep.
The ambience.
There's our winner, guys. Our winner, first one is Tuberzina. However, with that said, this is just the beginning. There's lots of time to go.
But yeah, you're...
Keep in here, keep pushing, supporting people, especially people...
Hey, Hen Kid, I'm glad you're here. How do you feel, Hen Kid? I'm curious. Do you feel better? Because you're not the only one who's been feeling sickly, it seems like, on a constant basis. A few weeks ago, if you guys were wondering why I was feeling so bad at Amicalola Falls, it's because my body entered, I guess you could say, a kind of dietary shock, where I guess it was just so used to me eating so many vegetables and all, that when I went back to what I normally eat for school, which is a packed lunch, it didn't agree with it at all. So, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. And I tried to do it again today, but after I got back to eating stuff that I was eating during the summer. I've gotten better now, so I'm glad I'm feeling better now, and I'm glad that, yeah. Hey, Evan Martin. Sorry if I got that wrong. I'm okay now. I've been okay now for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm good. I'm good. It's just what I need to do, I think, is just watch what I eat and make sure I eat plenty more vegetables. Because, I mean, I've been eating healthy now for over 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I picked with my food for that long. No, I'm kidding. I have to thank my dad's mother for that, because she's the one who's gotten me into eating every freaking food there is. But yeah, Hank, I'm glad to know you're feeling better. And Evan, you want to know someone wackier than me? Yeah, Evan, the only one who's wackier than me is the one who just said that himself. Boom, baby! Get roasted. I'm kidding. I'm not roasting you, because I'm pretty sure the one who's funnier than me is the person who's roasting him, is the one who's doing the roasting. And I roasted myself. Wonderful. Well, that officially stinked. No, I'm kidding. No. Wait. Evan, what do you mean in your mute? Wait, Evan. Hang on. What did you mean by... Evan, what did you mean by you saying you're mute? You don't mean you're deaf, do you? I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm actually serious. You're not hard of hearing, are you? I mean, you're more than welcome. I mean, if you want to, you can say it if you want. It's okay. Because, heck, I mean, when I was first born, I would have almost been born blind. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you meant you're mute, like your computer's muted or your volume's muted, or if you're hard of hearing or you can't hear. And I mean, I'm sorry if you can't hear. I hope you feel better, and I hope that, one day they find a cure for that. Because really, that's the thing that... Hen, it's okay. If he doesn't want to say it, he doesn't have to. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. But, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, the whole day for me has just been a sort of somber one, because, I mean, even though it was a year old, I don't know if my parents thought I knew what was going on, but I'm pretty sure now I know for a fact I knew what was going on. But I do want to shout out everyone who has joined the stream and who is currently in the stream. Shout out especially to Evan Marin. Let me see here. What is... This comment's going to make 0 sense, but... yeah. Let me see here. RP2K! I'm pretty sure if I ever hit 2,000 subscribers, only then will I actually be able to rightfully say that. But for now, no. No. Let me see here. I like the fact that my bedroom is right facing west, so I see the sunset. Explore Fever. I'm doing well. How are you? I know you guys didn't want me to continue talking about 9/11, but Explore Fever, I'm curious. What are your memories? What do you remember from, the attacks? I mean, where were you? What were you doing? When it all happened. And I'm just curious, when did you hear about it? I mean, you don't have to, talk about it if you don't want to, but I'm just curious, that's all, because I was a year old when this happened, so yeah. Uh, yeah. Let me see here. Open like a new tab. Ah, so you were doing carpentry, right? Going on to carpentry, I'm curious. What were you? Do you remember exactly what you were making? Was it like cabinets, furniture, countertop? I'm just curious. Oh, I guess right. I tell you, I mean, really, I really do feel that the world essentially stopped when that happened. I know my dad's mother's late husband's birthday, ironically, fell on 9/11. And, oh, what would call him? Oh, wow. Jules and Gideon actually got footage of the first plane hitting. But, yeah. And I know every news station that had their cameras aimed at the towers caught the second plane hitting, and everyone knew then that that was no accident. I can say, and the Pentagon, when the Pentagon was hit, then, everyone knew, okay, this is obviously a freaking attack. Yeah, a Ballister. Sweden County Ball, how are you? You're a newcomer. I haven't seen you around here before. So go to channel. Ah. Shout out to you, my friend. Oh, wow. Oh, Sweden, you changed your name. What was your name beforehand? Hey. I'll say this, though. Oh, Bob. Oh. Oh, wow. Evan, my apologies for, what I said earlier. I wasn't sure what you meant by saying I'm mute, but yeah. Moving on from that, yeah. I mean, I'm curious. When were y'all at, or were y'all watching the news when the second plane hit? Because I've seen the footage from, say, CNN, NBC, and all that. You're lucky to see it. I've never been to New York, and I haven't been to New York yet. I want to. That's the main reason I want to go to New York City, is to see that memorial and museum. And, I mean, even if they allow filming, I really, really doubt I'll film the museum. I won't film the memorial. I do not intend on filming the memorial for obvious reasons, because that's kind of like disrespecting the dead, so... I mean, if I do film in the museum, it's just going to be in the museum. And I'm only going to film the artifacts. That's it. But then again, with a place like that, I seriously do not think they'll let you film in there. Hang on. Y'all don't go anywhere. I have to go take a shower, so I'm exiting out of the stream for a bit, alright? I'll be back. Okay, I'll be back. Stick around, okay? I'll be back. So yeah, guys, I'm going to end the stream here, alright? So I will see y'all later. By the way, I never forget 9/11, and thank you guys for helping my channel reach 805 subscribers. By the way, hey Kevin Joyner, MC, Old Hobo Man, Explore Fevers, hey y'all, and I'll see y'all later, I suppose, alright? Hasta la vista, baby.